Okay, so today we're going to now solve permutations and combinations using the formulas. Okay, after the ice cream example that you just worked through, there is a lot of key factors when you are talking about what a permutation is and what a combination is. So something that you might have noticed from that ice cream example might have been that not only does order matter, but sometimes it's not talking about the order, but it's talking about the positioning. Okay, and we will talk about that with our first example that we're going to do when we're solving for it. So permutations and combinations each have their own formulas. So if you notice on the left we have our formulas for permutations. So the good news is we're going to be using our calculator. So the only thing you have to do in each problem is identify if it's a permutation or a combination, and then identify the total number of objects and the total number of objects that are being selected for that specific problem. Okay? So let's do the first example. Okay? How many ways can you file 12 tab dividers, one after another, in a 3-ring binder? So because we're positioning 12 tab binders, thinking about tabs that go into a binder, the positioning matters when you're putting them into the binder because those tabs are in different spots and you have to position them correctly so that you can see every tab in that binder. So this is a permutation. Okay, so now using our formula that we have up here, we need to identify the total number of objects and the total number of objects being selected. So our total number of dividers is 12. Okay, so the total number of objects, which is n, equals 12. We're placing these or selecting these objects, so our R, the selection of objects, is also going to be 12 because you're putting all 12 of those dividers into the binder. So we would rewrite the formula as NPR, and our N is 12, and our R is 12. So here's where we use our calculator to solve this. Okay? So you always want to type in your N first, which is 12. Then you're going to use the math button. So the math key, scroll over to the right to the probability section, and scroll down to the second option, NPR. Click enter, and then you're going to enter in your R, which is 12. So we're placing 12 dividers into 12 spots. It's a permutation, and we get our answer. Okay? So these are the amount of outcomes that we have. 479 million, 1,600. Okay? Now I'm going to place my calculator over to the side for a minute, and we're going to do another example of a permutation. So how many ways can 8 runners finish in first, second, or third place? So in this problem, okay, this is a permutation because we have our keywords first, second, or third place. Okay, so this is a permutation, and now we need to identify our total number, or N, which is going to be 8 runners. There are 8 total runners, and the number of objects that are being selected. So because you're choosing a first, second, and third place, there are 3 things that are being selected. So your R equals 3. Okay, so we have 8, P, 3 as our formula. Okay, and again, we're going to use our calculator to answer this. So we always do our N first, which is 8. Math key, scroll over to the probability. Second option's permutation, and our R now, which is 3. We got 336 different ways that 8 runners can be placed in